Two heroes, two galaxies, two sources of power without limit. But only one can be called the most powerful. Today, we step into the world of comics, across universes and teams. To answer a question that's been debated in convention halls for decades, who is mightier, Rogue of the X-Men, or Starfire of the Teen Titans? Let's begin with their origins. Rogue's story starts in the American South. Anna Marie never wanted her power. In fact, for most of her early life, she tried to keep it hidden. With a simple touch, she can drain the memories, abilities of the very life of anyone, mutant or human. She was once considered cursed. Yet that touch became her greatest weapon. Meanwhile, light years away, Starfire was royalty. Born Coriander, she grew up watching her planet, Tamaranean, fall into chaos. She was shaped by war, betrayal, and ultimately, survival. But unlike Rogue, Starfire's powers are anti-accidents of fate. They rebirth rights, fiercely burning energy from the sun, from the very fabric of her being. But power is more than just a matter of birth. It's how you use it. So, let's look at the battlefield. Rogue's greatest advantage is her absorption. It's unpredictable, dangerous, and nearly impossible to defend against. At her peak, she's drained entire superheroes with a single touch. Not just their strength, but also their minds, memories, personalities, sometimes even their powers. There was the time she permanently absorbed Ms. Marvel's abilities, gaining flight, super strength, and invulnerability. For years, she was one of the most formidable forces in the X-Men roster. But absorbing powers isn't always a gift. Rogue's had to contend with the weight of her victims, sometimes battling alternate personalities inside her mind. Each time she uses her gift, the threat is double-edged. Control is always on a knife's edge. One mistake, and it's not only her enemies who suffer. Starfire, in contrast, doesn't steal powers, she projects them. Her body naturally absorbs ultraviolet energy, which she converts into starbolts, bursts of pure stellar power. Super strength? Check. Flight, she's got that covered. Faster than the human eye, and strong enough to trade blows with gods, Starfire burns through nearly any obstacle. On Earth, her prowess is legendary. She's torn through steel, shattered meteors, even knocked back Wonder Girl on occasion. Starfire is a fighter trained from a young age. Her style is ruthless if she's pushed far enough. She channels the fury of her Tamaranean heritage, unleashing devastation. So who has the edge in raw power? Rogue, at her most dangerous, does not have limits-only opportunity. In classic Marvel fashion, it all comes down to who she touches. With enough contact, she could potentially drain Starfire herself, adding Starfire's power to her own. That's the nuclear option. Of course, it wouldn't be easy. Starfire's fighting style is built around energy, distance, and overwhelming force. She doesn't need to get close. Her starbolts travel at the speed of light. If Rogue tries to close the gap, she risks being incinerated before ever landing a hand. But what if it comes to an all-out brawl? Head-to-head, Starfire's raw strength is stellar by design. She's gone toe-to-toe with some of DC's most powerful. Energy projection, invulnerability, flight. Starfire is the textbook definition of a supernova in human form.
Ow.
Her stamina is nearly unmatched. She's kept fighting when teammates have already bowed out, yet that unpredictability Rogue's gift is the X-factor. Her power is only as strong as her last touch, and when she's able to use it to its full extent, there are very few beings in the Marvel Universe who can stop her. She's taken down giants, powerhouses, even gods. There's also the matter of growth. Over their decades-long comic histories, both heroes have evolved. Rogue, with training from Professor X, has learned how to control her absorption. Starfire, meanwhile, has grown in confidence and raw ability, unlocking new levels of solar devastation. So, the question of who is more powerful isn't as simple as stacking their abilities side by side. It's a question of circumstances. If Rogue is prepared, if she's able to make contact, she can be one of the most dangerous beings in any universe. If Starfire keeps her distance and channels the full might of a burning star, there are few who could stand against her radiant fury. In the end, these two heroes, one who takes, one who channels, represent different kinds of strength. Rogue's is uncertain, explosive, and reactive. Starfire's is constant, blazing and relentless.
So, who is the most powerful?
In comics, sometimes the answer depends on the panel, on the writer, or the story that needs telling that day. But perhaps true power lies not in might alone, but in how these heroes have stood for something more, for identity, for family, for hope in the darkest hours. In that sense, both Rogue and Starfire are supernovas, each burning bright, each refusing to be dimmed, no matter the odds. And that, in the end, is what makes them truly powerful.